Come on in, come on in. All right, we're live. We're back. Monday, May 1st, Game Notes Daily. Here we go. Welcome, Matt Murley, my co-host, riding shotgun with me. G, producer extraordinaire. He's with us as well. What a weekend of hockey. Mur, you want to give us to this because it's all presented by ScoreBet.
Yeah, great weekend. All of this is brought to you by ScoreBet. Score is the best sports book for the hockey obsessed. We have daily specials from the entire Chicklets crew, Biz, RA, Wit, G, the two of us. Better odds on all those, so get over to ScoreBet and play those, but always play responsibly. 19 plus in Ontario only. Got a gambling problem? Call Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600.
That's right, Mur. Please be responsible with that. We'd like to really drive that home. What a weekend. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, just click subscribe for us. It's awesome. Get the notifications bumping so you know when we're coming on. We're keeping this thing rolling. We didn't know if we were going to go further, but the hockey's been so damn good, Merles.
Yeah.
And we've got breaking news right before we came on the air. We'll get to it right away before we get to the actual games. Daryl Sutter of the Calgary Flames is said to have been let go in Calgary. What do you make of this, Merles? My impression was the guys were just had enough, kind of, right?
Yeah, I remember we were all at Borelli's there doing the previews. We were talking about it and how it was just probably too much, and the guys are sick of that. That message gets old, the beating down of them. And I brought him up at the time, Mitch Love. He's their AHL coach. He's been with the Canadian juniors teams and a bunch of stuff, and young and upcoming coach. So maybe he'll get the nod to get the call up. They're in the Calder Cup playoffs right now.
Yeah, and they're rolling. I think they've played. I don't know where they're at right now with that. Do you know, Merles? Can you check on that?
I think they were up 2-0.
I think they're the favorite, though. Are they not? They're one of the better teams.
They're the one seed for sure.
They're the one seed. Their goaltender's unbelievable for them, which is something that they lack this season in Calgary. Might have saved Daryl Sutter's job had they got some consistent goaltending. Also, the Flames lost, I think, the most one-goal games this year also. So they're just unable to find ways to win games. And, ultimately with the I think Treliving was up in the air, right? If he was going to come back too. I know his contract's in flux. So
yeah, he's out now. He's out.
Yeah, lots to watch when it comes to that. They amicably parted ways, I believe, on Chicklets, our episode at Borelli's. Yeah. That's where it came up. That's where we started talking. So Sutter let go as well by all reports over the socials from all the insiders, and we'll keep an eye on that. I do think also, I think that was like a message lost. Guys had enough. No one's responding. I think he was, obviously he can be hard to deal with if things aren't going, the way he wants them to go. So keep your
reminds me of our friend Michelle Terrian we had in Wilkes-Barre, and we were great for a couple of years because we would all listen to him and go crazy. And I actually posted that video, me and you connecting on the Game 7 OT winner in the AHL. And that actually led to a little, what do you call it? A foreshadowing of the night to come for us in the NHL.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. And I was going to say he has a 2-year contract that still is yet to kick in, which is Frank. I saw Frank Saravelli did post that.
The extension kicks in on July 1st of this year.
Can I get a job like that?
Yeah. Where are we going? What boat are we buying? Just what a great deal for him, obviously. But tough times, big changes ahead, and big changes ahead coming up possibly for, some of these teams. There's some just crazy drama. We got to start with the upset of the century, G. Your face was zoomed in on from the live stream last night from the gambling cave. You threw your hat, you rolled over, and people took close-up pictures of your face zoomed in. And it honestly, even my wife was like, "Oh man, I feel bad for him. Look at his face here." That's the look of despair, of crushing defeat, of failure. It was something to behold, honestly. And they, the last little bit of the season, they didn't look the same. Coming into the playoffs, they just didn't look the same. Gee, I want a super hardcore fan point of view right now.
All right, from the super hardcore point of view, I haven't spoken at all on this. I was pretty silent after the game. Me, Fights, and Marina didn't say a word to each other. The game ended, the stream ended, and we all just went home. I think we sat in the cave for about 20 minutes, just dead silence. So first, let me preface by saying, if this is it for Patrice Bergeron, what a career. just an absolute warrior. The fact that he played through a herniated disc, it just goes to show the type of player he is, because you knew he wasn't even close to 100%. Now let's address the greatest team in NHL history losing in the first round. And I think first and foremost, Merles, I'm sorry, but I think they were completely outcoached from start to finish. I know Monty's your buddy, and I love Monty. I think Monty's great for this team, but I think Paul Maurice stuffed him in a locker, just from the lines to the goalies to everything. I think Maurice was just significantly better. I think the Panthers bullied the Bruins as well. I think the fact
they did. Isn't that nuts?
The fact that Radko fucking Gudas had as big of an impact on this series as he
I
did,
love him.
I mean, that just goes to show like the Bruins severely lack in the grit department, which brings me to my next point. And this might sound fucking crazy, but this team and this roster, it wasn't built for a Stanley Cup run. It was built for an 82-game regular season. And I know that sounds crazy, but when you have two 37-year-old centers as your 1-2 punch, that's great for an 82-game season, but not for a playoff run. Like, when was the last time a team won the Stanley Cup where their 1-2 punch had two centers over the age of 37 years old? Like, it's a recipe for disaster. And I know playing through injuries, I know Bergeron's done it in the past, Krejci's done it in the past. It's a lot easier in your early 30s than your late 30s. Yeah. So lastly, I just think, the Panthers were a way better team. Matthew Tkachuk was by far the best player in the series.
What a beast.
Yeah. What an absolute animal. I can't remember the last time I've seen a single player like put a team on his back the way he did in this series. So I'll leave it there. I'll let you guys jump in. That's the diehard
there it is.
fan point of view. Mm-hmm. I will say this. Witt's already texted me saying he's writing the team off. They're done. I am not out on this team. I do like what I saw when Coyle and Zacha were the 1-2 punch. I still think this team has all the pieces. You need to go get a center for next year. I'm not throwing the white flag in. I'm not throwing the towel in on this team yet, but this was as disappointed as I've ever been as a Bruins
crushing.
Fan.
It's crushing.
And I've seen, 2 Stanley Cup losses. Think about 2013 when they lost in the final minute. 2019 when we were streaming every single game. And then this happened. This was this was just as disappointing as all those.
Yeah, it was brutal. I had the empty feeling at the end. I don't know what their D were doing all game. McAvoy, Lindholm, they were the two best players probably for them all year. And they were brutal from the first period and even worse in overtime. I forget who had the rush up, but McAvoy gets caught puck watching up.
They were
rush.
brutal.
How do you forget about Matt Tkachuk? And he gets a breakaway. Like, wake up. And then he has another turnover. They were done. And then on the final goal, you got to go out and block that shot. You want to win in the playoffs, you need your D eating that shot. Instead, he goes down on one knee and just basically screens him. He had no chance. But, the series was lost way before that game 7, way before that overtime. They should have put him away.
Lindholm couldn't make a pass. Marchand looked like he did when he broke into the league. Like, they just were lost. They were completely lost.
Panic button.
They were automatic execution. I hate to go to the chat already, but you guys know I love it. Nicholas, where's this guy? It's moving so fast. Tanya Hall has 0 heart, he says.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that, but I will say
I thought Hall was one of the best players in the series.
But I will say wherever he can't win wherever he goes. Yeah. He can't win. Every team he's on, he gets Hart Trophy. Can't win. He can't go anywhere and win. So like it follows him kind of right now, and But I will say, in the regular season, they looked so automatic. No look passes. It was a machine. It was just a machine. Down the stretch, it fizzled a little bit. And into the playoffs, the Cats played the 7-game series to a T and finding their game, found what worked, and got in their heads and got in their kitchen. And they couldn't break out. They couldn't execute. They couldn't make plays. They were sloppy. They looked disorganized. They forgot how to play. They were deer in the headlights. They were Shane Falco in quicksand. It was all that stuff wrapped into one, and it was amazing to see. And on top of it, lots of conversations too in this series, obviously with goaltending, with Allmark being this goaltender for the ages this year, and Swayman with the Game 7 decision come in. I thought Swayman, yes, the goals that he let in because he goes down too early. I think Hank showed they had some good convos on TNT with Busy last night about that situation of goaltenders just going down a little bit, not getting out far enough. Swayman's not the biggest guy, but he did get beat upstairs on a few rips. Obviously traffic in his eyes, but a smaller guy down early, unable to make those saves. But I still think he played good. Like, he made some massive game-changing saves for their team to hang in there and give themselves a chance to win this Game 7. No, it was a team.
So can I just go back to like my point about like the roster and like how it was built and it not being built for a playoff run? Do you guys think I'm crazy to say that? Just like with the two 37-year-old centers, with the lack of toughness. Like, I mean, Colby, like you said, they're doing the drop passes. They're just so smooth during the regular season. But it's such a different game in the playoffs. It's such a more physical game that I just don't feel that this team was built for.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say I've been amazed this year too, because I'm in Pittsburgh right now, and the Penguins with Malkin and Crosby up front, and all the talk about playoffs, and the question is like, do you just need to get in? You just need to get into the playoffs. And I know you're talking about age of those guys and stuff too, so it's like managing yourself through 82 games and then just getting in. And what are you when you get in? Who are you, and how do you find yourself? Whichever team finds himself the fastest. And it blew my mind, because down the stretch, when you needed to rely on experience, Penguins fell apart, found ways to lose games, couldn't get in the playoffs. Panthers come out of nowhere, seemingly, and get in and steal that spot, have to play the Bruins. Nobody counts them to have even a sniff. What do we have? Gentlemen sweep across the board? Merles, you'll have to check our things. And the Bruins come in and they just chipped away these little cats. They're just meowing into it. They meowed, and at the end they were left with a roar, man. It's unbelievable. And you think experience, that's what I'm talking about. You got veteran guys with experience that know how to get it done. And we talk about Game 7 statistics and who's been there and what they've done and what kind of team they're built for. And all of it is completely out the window. None of it matters. None of it makes sense. The Bruins, Tampa, I thought we had a little bit more belief in the Jets to a certain degree. And possibly tonight, the Rangers are a team that we looked at, even though the Devils finished higher than them, that was built for, like, they add all these fancy pieces and toys at the end. It's been a crazy playoffs, boys.
Ooh, it's nuts.
It's been insane.
Nuts. We all had gentlemen sweep. RA had a regular sweep, so we were all so wrong. And you knew it. That Game 1, they were terrible. And they got lucky. Allmark won that game for them. Game 2, they somehow played even worse. So you saw it was coming, but I got to give props to some Florida talk. Montour jumped out of nowhere this season. He's unreal.
He's unreal.
And you just listen
See
to
him with his shirt off in the room? No. See him when he handed the puck to Chuck?
When he bird watching in there,
fucking weapon. I was hoping to get a peek.
Between the benches.
I was hoping to get a peek down there, but Montour just ripped up like a bad report card. He just hands it over. But these guys were on a mission, hey?
Yeah. And you talked just about the way he was talking, he was holding himself. That clip, like, he won the Game 5 puck. He's like, guys, remember this locker room. We're going to be back here. His interview before Game 7, he was the leader of that team, and they look good. Gudas is a monster. You see that punch he came over? He just threw a straight punch at Frederick. And then Frederick just ate it.
Caved his I was like, did he just bomb a guy in the face there? I'm like, I got to see on replay, because there's no way. Because I was at like a meaningful time in the game, and he came across and just absolutely caved in Frederick's face on a little net front scramble.
Nuts.
Just a nut job.
Can I just say though, I'm reading the chat here, and I want to clarify like all my points before we move on from the team. I don't think this roster sucked. I think this was the best Bruins roster ever. I just think rosters are built differently for Stanley Cup playoff runs. You need longevity. The best ability is availability. And when you have two 37-year-old centers, that's going to be tough. And I thought the biggest point of why Florida won this game was toughness. And that is something that the Bruins roster severely, severely lacks. They need toughness. They don't have it. And that's not to say the roster's not stacked. That's not to say this team wasn't loaded this season. It's the best roster I've ever seen, but they lack toughness. And it came back to bite him in the ass in the end. So bunch of frauds. The team was fraudulent. I'm pissed off. I'm taking the L, but bunch of frauds. I'll leave it there.
So so another little part of the Bruins game. If you watch them, they don't like to waste shots. They won't take a shot from the outside if they think they can't go in. That's part of their whole game plan, and that's great in a regular season when it's a little looser and everybody's not.
You kept
blocking the
texting
shot.
this, Merles. What were you texting us all
you got to
night?
throw the pucks to the mixer. The mixer's the couple feet above the blue paint. Just keep throwing the puck there. It's going to hit a skate. It's going to hit their skate like it did for the Maple Leafs. And that's how you got to score in the playoffs, because it's a little bit harder to score. It's a lot tighter. You're playing the same guys over and over, so your little drop pass and this and that might not work as much because there's so much pre-scout. So that was one thing they should have worked on more is, I know that's your system. It's worked well all year, holding on to the puck, keeping it, but get pucks and bodies to the net.
I'll tell you what, the Panthers earned a lot of respect. They earned a lot of respect.
Again. Zach Covert. Kachuk
Defense Ministry. It's alive and well. Next stop, Maple Leaf Square. The Maple Leaf fans were calling for the Panthers.
Yeah.
They're calling for them.
What's the deal with that? Like,
they better be careful. I'm telling you.
Right?
You saw the way Tampa Bay forechecked the piss out of them and made it really hard on them. And you watch this Cats team against the Bruins, and the Bruins couldn't even execute out of their own end clean. Everything came really, really hard. They were they were solid positionally, and they were nasty. They got a piece of you every single time. And if you think you're going to dance across the line and your MCL and your ACL aren't in jeopardy with Gudis flying around out there, he's just like an X factor of insanity. He doesn't care. He's coming through. He's getting a piece of you. He ain't playing the puck. So they have all these X factor pieces and then they can score. They can run up points too. They can bury. So
those guys, and the guys that do score all have that jam I've been talking
about.
Bennett, Kachuk.
Bennett was a massive difference maker. Yeah. Holy
I love that guy. Yeah, he's great. I love him.
He's nuts too. He's crazy.
Look what the Cats did to the Bruins D. We're going to talk previews a little bit, but the Maple Leafs D doesn't move the puck like the Bruins D can, and they couldn't get out. So Toronto is going to. It's going to be another good one.
It'll be interesting. Styles make fights, and it'll be another one of those series, I think, where I think the Cats could claw themselves into another series with a pretty darn good Leafs team, and they're lucky to get out of that Tampa Bay. They were overwhelmed. They were dominated for the most part, puck possession and chances and attempts, and we'll see what the Cats can do. Congratulations for Hagee, Kachuk, the Cats who won in overtime in a Game 7. What a moment! 2 Game 7s last night actually, and we could get to it. I think
this one hurt me. The last one hurt me.
The Colorado, I don't think anyone had the Kraken. Also, I mean, this is exact deja vu of the first game we watched last night. What do you guys make of this Kraken team? I think they earned all our respect as they went through this 7-game series, though.
I'd love to hear your guys in-depth X's and O's breakdown as to what you're seeing as to why Seattle is won this series, because from the outside looking in, I mean from an unexperienced non-NHL hockey player, it just I don't know how they did this.
Yeah, the first part is obviously Grubauer was unbelievable, but the second part, and I know it because I'm a gambler, Seattle scored the first goal all 7 games. I'm pretty confident on. You got to play from behind that often, and a lot of times it was 2-0. They scored the first 2 goals. So to use all that energy to keep having to come back. I mean, Colorado had it. If that offsides challenge, that goes 2-2. Place was buzzing. My McKinnon 2 points was going to hit, and then the challenge, he was way offsides. Holy cow, sober up. But it was the same thing. Just a better overall team. They just ran them.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. None of the bottom 6 could get anything going, or anyone else other than their big boys could score and produce for Colorado. And on the flip side, you had a deep, almost every line was giving you the same, a defense core that can skate, headman pucks, and play physical, and a goaltender that played really well, but they played an overall total top to bottom relentless play. There it is, relentlessly pressure. They're relentless. They're in your face. They're hard on you. And that grit factor in the playoffs, I don't care how good you are, how sweet you are at dangling, or how many goals you can score. If you do not play that style of hockey, you leave it for chance. You leave every game and every series for chance. And that's what the Kraken have. The Kraken have a total team buy-in and a total team effort and look through their lineup that makes them formidable every single night. And whoever plays them, it's who are they playing right now?
Dallas. It'll be Dallas.
So yeah, that'll be a good physical, in your face, big body series. I think Kraken can play that. I think they're fine playing that. And so that's just going to be a pressure game. They're going to play the same way. Yep. I mean, that's going to be high octane, high energy, depth through their lineup, speed and physicality through that entire series. And can Grubauer keep it up against the Otter, who's seemingly pushed himself into being the best goalie in the league right now?
Did you jump on those Conn Smythe odds? We talked about it last week, Murr. Did you jump on that 30-1? I think it was.
No,
last
I
week?
should have got on it. I'm over here. I can't get on the Barstool Sports book or the ScoreBet for those, but I got my Shesterkin one still in there, so I'm looking forward to that tonight. But to talk more about the Avs, losing Nikushkin was obviously a game changer. Like, that guy would have had the extra goal here or there. You don't have to talk about Landeskog, but he was gone. Kadri's gone from last year. Those are three huge pieces from the Stanley Cup team. You can't think of them as the same team as last year without those three guys. So goodbye to my Avs. Sad to see them go, but
they're not going anywhere, though.
We went to Denver last year, so we're going to get to go somewhere new this year.
That team's sticking around, though. Like, that franchise is going nowhere. They'll be right back in the mix next season.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so do we want to reverse back a little bit here? Friday night, let's just go over a couple series end. The Canes get through. The Stars that we just mentioned get through. We'll face the Kraken. Two get pushed to a Game 7. Saturday night, Toronto defeats Tampa Bay. Wow. Do we want to talk about that one? And Edmonton defeats LA. Those games end in 6. Rangers force a Game 7, which, tonight. We'll get to that.
Yes.
That's going to be big. Toronto Maple Leafs, Tampa Bay Lightning, guys. Yeah. Obviously, that was a massive series, a series for the history books for the Leafs. 19 years since they've been past the first round. We look at the production of the top guys for Toronto. I think Matthews had a fairly good series. Morgan Riley was a beast.
Marner was incredible.
Marner was huge with production too. Samsonov out of nowhere. One thing they've always missed is goaltending. He was unbelievable, especially in that last game.
Yep.
And Tampa on the flip side, their big boys kind of couldn't get going. It was that middle six, the second and third line that were, the guys that kind of made everything happen for them and got it done. But the Leafs, is this different now? We said I had Leafs in 6. Yeah. They got it done right when I said, because I said if it goes 7, Tampa, how's she going? You can't leave it for chance. The Leafs didn't. They got it done. Massive goal. John Tavares, overtime. History made. City goes crazy. Everything shuts down. Things are going nuts. It's like they won the Stanley Cup. They got through the first round. But is this different now, boys, with the Leafs, Merles?
Yeah, the Leafs are. We all had the Leafs except Witt had Tampa. But then, I couldn't believe these tweets from Witt. First, he has a $5,000 bet on the Leafs in Game 6, and I'm like, what? He's just he's trying to mush them, right? He wants the Leafs to lose. But then all his tweets were encouraging the Leafs and stuff. It had me all screwed up. I couldn't believe it was his Twitter. So excited for the Leafs.
Well, it's amazing too. Going into every series, we did our predictions, and then seemingly it's is anyone doing good? Did we do good on any of them?
No,
is any human on Earth doing good with this playoff so far? I think we all stunk. Yeah. I think we all got it wrong. I think we were probably all 50%.
We all got at least 3 losses. Everybody, if you got Rangers, so you might be the best one tonight if you can get the Rangers in. And who else?
That's right, Pasha.
And Witt has only 3 losses. He's got Rangers. So otherwise, we all got. Yeah, it's not good. It wasn't pretty.
Brock McCroskey says his bracket is intact. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Brock.
that's when you fill out 15 of them. Yeah. No.
Show us the receipt, dude.
What is it in the NCAA basketball tournament? The bracket of I forget what they call it, but you do only one of them. Can't be that guy putting 5 or 6 in.
Brock, there he is right there. We'll give him some love up there. Thanks for coming in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, Chicklets YouTube.
Yeah,
it's
how about
hot
all these
right now.
Road teams? How are we supposed to know this? Road teams won 31 games, the most ever in a playoff. Road teams were 11-3 in overtime. Like,
Yeah.
how are we supposed to know that? Come on. So
I know.
it's wild.
Yeah, it's wild, and overtimes were crazy. And are you not hockey fans? Are you not impressed? Are you not entertained? Was this not a great weekend of hockey? And we just get a little Monday night Game 7 tickler tonight on May 1st. Here we go.
I can't believe it's May already either. Holy God.
I didn't even start working out yet. I'm like Stu Feiner. Workout starts tomorrow. Oh, I feel bad for those guys in Frankie and their Islanders lost to the Canes. Congratulations, Canes, who move on as well.
Got my Canes hat there. Got it
there you go. We're jumping on Canes.
No, not well. Not if it's the Rangers. If it's the Rangers, I'm a Rangers.
Let's go, Canes. Let's hear you guys in the chat.
If it's Devils, then I'm jumping on Canes. I'm against the Devils no matter what. I will go against Pasha till my bank account's empty.
Yeah, buddy. This is what I'm saying though. Colorado, Bruins, Tampa, Jets a little bit. You know, we were kind of. How much money did they kill people on?
Oof.
Game to game, pressure situation to pressure situation. I mean, unbelievable what is going on here in these playoffs. And you know, and then you have the Rangers get out to a 2-0 lead right at the start of this series for tonight, Game 7, and these Devils just seemingly battle right back in. And when you think it's the no way, the Rangers got him. The Rangers got him. Zibanejad, there he is.
There he is.
Perfect timing. This creature climbs through the internet right into our show.
Are you still in New York City?
Yeah.
Still in New York City. I leave tomorrow. I'll either be leaving hungover and happy or miserable and
just at a Super 8. Just been living at a Super 8.
Yeah.
How's life been though? I know Gia's kind of captured some of your trolling through arena to arena in the series. A legend at one and hated at the other.
It's
good to be on home ice.
It's been a roller coaster for sure. Yeah, me and G went to that game last Thursday, and that was a blast. You know, walking into the arena, I said to him, I just want one game where they get an early lead, put it in cruise control, and I can actually enjoy the game. And that's what that was. And that was the first and only game all series where I've actually been able to enjoy it. Saturday was a different story. You know, they dominated that first period, lucky goal at the end there, and that just turned the whole game on its head. So it's going to be interesting tonight. I don't know how much you want to read into this, but this morning I'm out there with my coffee, getting my sunlight in again, and who do I see? The street sweeper honking at me, giving me some more thumbs down, the Rangers fan. Hadn't seen him since before the start of the series. Yeah, hadn't seen him since the start of the series. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
I see people in the chat chirping you, and I know you will not care about this. Devils in 6. Devils in 6.
I mean, listen. If the Devils win in 7, who cares? But
yeah, I know. I thought you would say that. Who cares? Just get it done, right?
But I don't see them coming after my other take about Patty Kane, who was taken off the first unit power play, who was put on the third line, who's a turnover machine. I don't hear anyone talking about that.
Yeah. It's true.
I agreed with that power play. That should have never been messed with in the first place when he came over. I understand who he was, but that power play was so good. And when you play with a guy that good, that famous, you're trying to feed him. You're not playing your normal game. You're trying to get him the puck. A guy like Zibanejad is a little nervous. So it was great to get Mika back there. Then you have the second unit. Let Patty Kane. He runs the show on that one. It's all him. Let the guys play around him. So I feel much better tonight knowing that's how the power play is going to be.
Too. Peter wants to say, what about Tarasenko,
he
too?
Got thrown in the bumper there.
Yep.
So Mika's back, which has got to be scary for you, Pasha. Mika's back.
Hey, I give Gerard Gallant a lot of credit. You know, those are Patty Kane's a name that's tough to, fiddle with, and I'm sure Monty in Boston could have took a page out of it and maybe flipped some things around to try to find some stuff. But I give them credit. They're hanging on. They've tried. They're seemingly found their game last game. Is that are you nervous about that at all, Pasha, from a Devil standpoint? Are you nervous that they kind of were floundering? They had nothing. They were just like in the ocean. They were stuck by themselves, and then all of a sudden they had one game where it kind of flips everything. What's your feelings in general with their play coming into this game, pivotal game 7?
I think for tonight it's very simple, and it kind of echoes what I said before the series. If the Devils stay out of the box, they win tonight. If they keep taking dumb penalties, they're going to lose. I think it's that simple, honestly. Thankfully, if you look historically, refs kind of put their whistles away in Game 7. I hope that continues to be the case. Just let the boys play. If you let the boys play, I like the Devils' chances of winning a lot. If they keep taking dumb penalties, which they did in Games 1 and 2 and Game 6, it's not going to be pretty. So stay out of the fucking box. No fucking slashes and trips and dumb penalties in the offensive zone.
What's
that
our
they've been
guy's name?
guilty of.
What's the guy's name was taking the penalty first couple of games?
Miles Wood.
Is he
Miles
still in the
Wood.
lineup?
He hasn't played since game 2.
Yeah.
He was
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
But that's why EBR game sevens, we always go the under because the ref's supposed to put the whistles away. Guys are supposed to be playing a little tighter. Got completely screwed in the Bruins game, not hitting that under 6.5, but then it hit in the Colorado game. So I'll be on the under again tonight. It's a rule. Got to live and die by it with the Rangers Devils under. Right now it's 5.5. Might want to buy that to 6. Empty netters at the end.
I will say this: we've had 1 to 2 close games. Games 3. Overtime game. Game 4 was a 3-1 finish, and the rest have been, lopsided either way. So, what are we going to get tonight? I think it'll be a lot closer, but I think it'll be high scoring. I don't know why. I have a feeling it'll be.
Really?
I have a feeling it's going to be like a 5-4, like something like that type of game.
Okay.
Ooh,
I had
I
3-2.
did
over.
I
Army
had
You have
3-2.
3-2. Okay. Sorry, I'm going
3-2
against your
with a-
Murley rule.
Yeah, don't go against EBR rules, dude.
I know. I like sticking to the EBR rules. Actually, I do like that.
It just
It's
makes you sleep
something
better.
safe.
Like, you're like,
yeah,
well, I just do it every time. Like
it's
instead of
like hitting on
flip-flopping.
16 in blackjack. Like you
Yeah.
just do it because you're supposed to do it because you do it every time, right?
Yeah, then you can
That's a-
sleep good at night. Like if they both went under last night and I didn't bet them, I would have been like, how stupid am I? I've been preaching this for 10 years to take unders game 7, but I kind of knew Florida's a belligerent team, so you can't really trust them. They're nuts.
What do we got here? I seen someone in the chat. Sorry,
I
I'm
saw
trying to find it
Singsy
now.
put up a Meyer bet and something.
Oh, is Singsy boy here in the chat?
Yeah, he put up Meyer.
he's
He likes
always
Meyer.
here.
I was trying to get a score bet boost for you, Pasha. Meyer and Devils to win.
Cody Barnstable,
they're
shout
working
out from
on it.
Saskatoon. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Click subscribe on the YouTube page. We've got Pasha, Devils super fan, who hung in there through the slings and arrows of a hot take on Patty Kane to his team getting out to an 0-2 start in this series and has battled back to make this an unbelievable night of hockey tonight, Monday, May 1st. Game Notes Daily bringing it to you. Pasha, I want to ask you, any looks at any bets here tonight that you're sitting on? Some with your heart, some with your head. Where are you at? What are you thinking? How's this going to go?
I like Nico Hischier to score anytime tonight. I know you guys harp on me for the analytics, and at some point analytics only go so far, and you have to perform.
Yeah.
But
He's a gamer.
The expected goal numbers that Meyer, Bratt, and Hischier are putting up to have 0 goals for all of them is ridiculous. Like that dam is going to break. It has to break at some point. Like they're generating insane chances. Igor is robbing them. They're due. One of them's going to get one, and I think it's Hischier. I think it's going to be ugly. I think he's going to be taking beatings in front and get a tip or a little rebound. That's the way he does, and I think the Devils win 3-2 with a Hischier goal.
I got to back you up here, Posh. Going into the last game, I was kind of ripping on Pasha about like how much they gave up for Timo Meier and just the lack of production. And Pasha was like, just watch him out there. I'm telling you, he's making shit happen every play. He might not be scoring, but I guarantee you're going to see like he's making a difference out there. And 100%, he's making a difference out there. He's just not getting the puck in the net.
You know what I'll say about this? I think he started out kind of slow. He started out kind of like feeling it out a bit, which the whole team did. But I think in a lot of different intangible ways, he has pushed himself into the series and been a difference maker. So noticeable, stirring it up in and around the net, his speed, his physicality. He was kind of a part of, the reason why once the tide started getting turned, their foot stayed on the gas a little bit on this Rangers team is because of his driving force, like Rhino style of play.
Yeah, he's a freight train. He hits everything out there. He's kind of getting in Igor's head, falling on him, hitting him behind the net. Igor's throwing punches, sliding his stick away. Igor's throwing punches. So, like G said, he has been, for a guy with 0 points, he has been far from invisible.
We got Panarin's burner account here. Bread guy, man. Panarin has not scored yet. Anytime goal plus 225, game 7. Yeah, where's he been? Is he playing that East-West?
You get your Hirscher at plus 240, Pasha. Anytime goal scorer. That's not bad.
Where's Singsy? Singsy's got to play. Where's Singsy? Get in the chat, Singsy. I want to see what you're hitting up here.
We got to know how his wedding went. How'd the wedding go, Singsy?
I believe Singsy had Timo Meier anytime
He's a
goal
Timo Meier
scorer.
guy.
Timo Meier anytime goal scorer, and then Devils money line was Singsy's pick.
Wow.
I'm on Mika anytime plus 160. I'm obviously on the Rangers. I have my Rangers series that I need to cash tonight. So a lot going on for me in this game. I'm trying to figure out. By the way, can the NHL like play these weekend games earlier? I don't understand why these
didn't they?
games had to
What
be so
happened?
late.
Look at that comment from Memesy. Gee, put that back up.
What
I
you
saw
got?
that, Memesy. Don't worry, I gave you the thumbs up.
It's a referral.
I get a little thing. Dale
We got to
Morningstar
get him
has
on
asked for a
too. We got to get
referral.
Memesy on one of these days too. Hey,
Nobody's safe on Ryan now.
yeah. Mika
God.
Zibanejad first goal plus 1,200.
Ooh, I like that.
Put
I like
me
that.
down. Jake
Mhm.
Oppenheim, thank you. I will steal that one. I love that. The Fox, couple points that might not come into play if they stay out of the penalty box.
Yeah,
It's the only way I like Fox, like really quarterback in that PP, especially if it gets hot. I mean, it got back going.
Yeah, Thomas Phillips. We're still on the under. We went 1-1 last night. EBR Rule 7. Also an under while I'm here. The Moto Yergarden under hit yesterday for EBR. So we actually went 2-1 on Game 7 unders yesterday. Congrats to Moto, Witt's old team. They're back in the top league in Sweden. But Game 7
that is
unders.
big.
We're always on Game 7 unders.
That is big. Where are we at with like this Tatar, Brat? I know you mentioned about these guys. Like, are you just think they're due, Pasha? Because I look at it, I'm
I wouldn't throw Tatar in that mix. Tatar's a guy who we need more out of, who I haven't liked what I've seen.
like Marino,
Brad,
no points.
Yeah, but
Expect their
Marino's
D
more
to
of
produce a bit.
a shutdown guy. Like, to me, it's Brat, Heischer, and Meyer that are due, that have just been like all their analytics are like they should have had a ton of goals by now. That's why I think one of them is going to break through. Tatar, I haven't loved his game. I'd like to see more from him. But like I said, just don't take dumb penalties, and they'll win this game. Simple as that.
Yeah. And how do you feel about your goaltender going into this game? I got to ask you that one more thing because he's been a good story.
Yeah, I mean, there was all this talk on Twitter about who's he starting, and Lindy wouldn't comment who they're starting. I thought that was crazy. It's Akira no matter what. Like, to consider Vanacek is wild. That is confirmed now. Akira is starting. Guy's got ice in his veins. I think he'll be just fine.
I want to ask you before we let you go on this. I want to ask you: do you have any parting shots for the Bruins at all through this?
Honestly, no. I
Monty
like the
commenting on the goalies, chirping his goalie coach a bit. There's a little bit of action. Are you you want to get you want to get in on that a little bit?
I like the Bruins a lot. Pasternak is my favorite player in the league. I wish he was on the Devils. I love watching
and a great dude.
play. Great dude.
And you're friendly with his agent, obviously.
I'm friendly with his not as friendly as Merle's.
I was cracking Labatt Blue Light with him at 9 a.m. and they were piss warm. So we bonded pretty well.
I don't have any chirps for them. I think it makes tonight's game all that much more important because, like I said before the playoffs, my guess was that the Devils lost to the Bruins in the Eastern Finals, the big bad Bruins. Now that they're out, I think it's anybody's race. That's why, Devils win tonight. I think they're going deep. So no chirps for the Bruins. It sucks to see Bergeron, absolute legend. Those guys, Krejci, legend. I got nothing but good things to say about that team. But I do have to kind of side with Witt, where I do think it's going to be tough for them to get back to being this nasty. I don't think they're completely done, but I think they're now in that phase of the Pittsburgh, Washington, might battle to get in a little bit, and but they're not going to be a wagon anymore. I don't think.
Their first two-line centers are making $1 million. They're not going to. How are you going to replace two first-line centers when you only get $2 million in cap space? So
you're going to have to make a trade. They're going to have to make a trade, whether it's DeBrusque, whether it's Taylor Hall, whether it's someone. But Pasha, why don't you tell these guys, you don't have to say financially how much, but why don't you tell these guys about after Pasha takes me out all day and night in Vancouver and then gets me to make a nice bet with him about the Bruins and Devils future. This is just a terrible bet for myself. Why don't you tell him?
Well, first of all, the circumstances, that's a complete lie. Because I have a video of us. This was in Chicklets Cup in Buffalo, I believe. I have a video. We made a bet. Did you say you want me to say the numbers or no?
No, don't say the numbers.
Okay. A reasonably sized bet for who has more regular season points in
a mortgage payment size bet.
2024-2025 season. The Devils, the Bruins, more regular season points.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's a tough.
You're in
one.
deep trouble. Imagine how good that other Hughes is going to be in 2 years too on the back end, flying around. Devils.
That's
are in a
why,
great
boys.
Spot.
Whatever happens tonight, this is year one of a 10-year window of the Devils being a wagon.
Yeah.
It happened 1 year ahead of schedule that I thought it would. But fuck that, go out, win tonight's game. But
Yeah, let
just
the
get
Rangers
used to the
win then.
Devils.
So
Hey,
Get
let
used
us
to the
win.
Devils being in the playoffs because this is
Oh, yeah.
this is the start.
So Pasha, the favorite going in, they had the higher seed, they had home ice advantage, they're at home for game 7. This series ends tonight. Picture yourself celebrating at the Prudential with all those lunatics, all those lunatic fans. Are
You don't think
you
I've had that plan in my mind?
okay? I'll do it for you. Let's jump forward now. Devils win. Are you going home or are you staying?
I'm flying to Arizona tomorrow, regardless.
So you just want the
gonna
first. You're like a
count.
Leaf fan almost. You just want the first round victory, and then you're out of here.
No. I listen. I can always come back, but I need to go get some shit done. I can't keep living out of a hotel. I'm
Yeah,
just
no
lighting money
doubt.
on
Holy
fire.
shit! You've been there for
I
like
can't believe you're
2.5.
still there.
You've been there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5
3 weeks.
lighting
Oh
money
my
on
God.
fire. So that'll only be exacerbated if the Rangers lose tonight, or sorry, if the Devils lose tonight. My financial situation will get even more dire. So getting out of here tomorrow, win or lose.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, attaboy. Congratulations. You made a series out of it.
What? Stop.
It's.
Congratulations for what?
Oh, I'm just saying
Nothing's happened
congratulations
Well, it
on
was-
making
you were
this so
done.
interesting.
Yeah,
you were done.
after the first 2 games. It was done.
You were
And
under
then the
attack.
Rangers were done, and now the Rangers are back.
I
It's
don't
going
like
to be a
all
great
this.
game.
Congrats. Pasha was right. Wit say all this shit. Nothing's done yet. Nothing's
Pasha
over yet.
was right. That what a
I don't
great
like that. I
hashtag
don't
that
like
is.
that. I don't like that. Nothing's. I mean, I was right about Kane, sure, but the series isn't over yet.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, hope you know what? I'm on the Rangers just
Yeah.
because I got it. That's with me wanting to be right. That's with me
Thank you
wanting
for
to be right.
reminding me that
But I
was
will
gonna
say this. I will say this. The Devils have made me a fan. And I'm torn tonight. I want to be right because of my predictions, but I want to be with you with the Devils. But
I
I'm
was
on the
gonna say,
Rangers.
I said in the chat the other day, I was like, it's making me nervous that all you guys are now saying Devils are going to win, Devils are going to win. It's the opposite. So I like the fact that you guys are all back on the Ranger train. Keep it that way.
I think Rangers win tonight. I'm sorry, buddy. That's what I
Perfect.
think. That's how
Keep
I
it that
feel.
way.
I will
Good.
keep it that way. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a high scoring game. As I said before, I think it's going to be a 5-4, 4-3 game. We'll have some goals in this game. It'll be tight. I think it's just going to be a really good game. I think the Rangers found their game in time for these last couple games just to make it interesting at the end here. Any other little plays, Merles? Anything we have coming across the chat, G, that we can see for this?
No, I see a bunch of guys worrying about the podcast. Yeah, the real podcast, the mothership got pushed back a day, so we can cover tonight's game and preview Rangers, Devils versus Carolina. So that's why it's pushed back one day, and they wanted to give us some glow because now we're the only chicklets today. So
we're chicklets today, baby. We're rolling.
So if you're looking for the
click
chicklets-
subscribe on YouTube. Click subscribe on the YouTube. We're rolling every day. We're keeping Game Notes Daily rolling. Pasha, a regular guest. I hope you'll return with us again, Pash. I hope.
Yeah, this could be your farewell. We won't have you
Yeah.
back if the Devils don't win. So
Yeah.
Well,
Do you have any, just in case, do you have any parting words for Game Notes Daily fans or viewers out there watching?
I'll be back on here tomorrow, hungover as fuck, heading to the airport, talking about the win.
Let's go.
all right.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Posh. Thanks for jumping in
There
with
he
us,
is.
buddy. There he is. Gee, what a beauty. Gee, what a beauty. He's survived. I mean, he was under death threats. He had everything coming at him. He had Big Cat coming at him. He had like the weight of the company on him, like his takes. And Pasha's just kind of, head down and stayed strong. I give him a ton of credit to survive
Here's
that. We were doing
here's my
welfare
question.
checks on him.
Here's my question, though. If Patrick Kane goes off tonight, say he either scores the OT winner or, even just a big goal in
He's
a big
effective.
spot,
Yeah.
what is Pasha right or is Pasha
Yeah.
wrong about the take? Because I do agree with Pasha. He's been virtually invisible besides that one game he had. But if he does score like the most clutch goal for the Rangers, it's like, I think he might be wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's why
Yeah,
they
it's
got
like-
him in for those moments, right?
Exactly. You need
Yeah.
a big goal, and that's when he'll be there. Hopefully we don't even need the big goal to blow him out tonight.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be unbelievable what we're going to see here tonight. Some more drama, NHL playoffs, Game 7 again tonight. Merles, where do we want to go from here? You got any more plays?
Let's just do our
sneaking in?
my official picks for the Rangers. I'm going Mika plus 160 anytime. I'm on the under 5.5 EBR rules. And I got the Rangers in the series, so I might as well sprinkle a little more on the Rangers money line minus 103 over at the ScoreBet. We got Pasha at Hersher anytime plus 240. What can I write you guys down for?
Get in there, G.
I am taking the night off. All the Bruins futures kicked in last night that I placed.
Yeah, Monday, new week.
Monday. So the beginning of the season futures, the halfway through
That's
the season
responsible.
futures, and then the pre-playoff futures I play. So taking the night off tonight.
Night off.
I hope everyone out there can gamble responsibly, just like myself. 19 plus in Ontario. But I'd love to hear your picks, Army. You've been pretty hot.
What did I say already for the?
I think you were going Mika first goal. Were you looking at?
Mika
Plus
first
12
goal,
plus
and I'll go
1200, I
also. Okay, I'll do that, and then I'll sprinkle also a Mika 2 points,
Ooh.
which is plus 285.
And then we
the
got
Rangers have killed me enough. Singsy's got something in here. Devils money line, Timo anytime goal. Devils super fan. Our boy Singsy made it through the weekend, wedding
280.
weekend. His daughter got married. Congratulations, Singsy. Thanks for popping on with us on Friday. Also, that was a great moment in Game Notes daily history. Singsy's just an absolute beauty, but he's got his New Jersey Devils, him and Pasha. What a night.
Give you a little stat on this series. 6 of the 7 clinched series so far have come on the road. So that's leaning our Rangers' way. Can they make it 7 out of 8? Series have ended on the road team, which is never good. I always like to see the home team, like the home fans celebrating and going home and going out to the bar after and having a good time. But
it is home
team.
fans tonight for the Rangers. I mean, it was all true. Rangers fans last time I was at the game.
Yeah, same when I was there.
Put me down also. I just got reminded that I did from John Kalagi. Thank you, John. Sorry, I pronounced your name wrong. Rangers in the over. I know we talked about the EBR rules, but I think it's going to be
our first fight.
Yeah, our first fight. Yeah. You never know.
And you know what? You can actually jot me down as Patrick Kane anytime
he
score.
Can't take a night off.
Showtime, baby. Coming to stuff it down Pasha's throat.
Yeah.
What's that coming in at?
Plus 285 is what the chat's saying.
For any time goal? Ooh.
Same as Mika. 2 points.
Same as 2 point. Mika anytime goal is only plus 160.
Devils first period over from Parksy. I know some of these guys, they're on to these first period unders, overs. These are things that are worth looking at. I think we've found some success in some of these series and some of these teams that seem to have
first period unders hit every single game for the Islanders Hurricane series. Every single one.
I know that. I forget who we had in the chat was bringing that to us every time. I see
Johnny Lazarus.
Was it Johnny Lazarus?
Yeah,
that was the guy. Yeah. Good job, Johnny. That was huge. That was awesome. I know we popped that up a few times. We were talking about it. It took us like 3 or 4 games before we got to it.
I got Granelli cried himself to sleep last night, minus 3,000.
Yeah, Confirmed. Put that in the blog.
Confirmed.
Put that in the blog.
Like I'm not even a huge Bruins fan. I've become sort of a fan. I had trouble going to sleep, and it was 4:30 in the morning, and I was it was empty. It felt bad, so I don't feel like I feel you, G. It was a rough night.
It didn't feel real. It's like, and I'm still realizing that. Like every 15 to 20 minutes, I'm kind of just like looking in the mirror, being like, I can't believe it fucking happened. I can't believe it actually fucking happened. They lost.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch. It was amazing to watch. Panthers shocked the world. So let's just recap. We're waiting on New York, New Jersey tonight, Game 7. They're going to play the Canes. We got Toronto versus Tampa Bay coming up this week. We'll be right here on Game
Toronto
Notes.
Versus Florida.
Sorry.
Yep.
Toronto versus Florida. Oilers versus Vegas, Kraken versus Stars. Sorry, I was reading my notes wrong here.
I can give you those lines if you want to start looking ahead at the series prices, Arm Dog.
Yeah, I want to look at those.
You got Toronto minus 182. You can get Florida plus 152. You got the Oilers minus 143. Vegas plus 120. So that's the closest series right now.
What was the Oilers, sorry?
Minus 143.
Yep.
And then you got the Stars minus 195 and the Kraken plus 160. So, I mean, there's some money to be made there. That Florida plus 152 is not bad. But also, I like what the series, you take them during it too. The odds keep changing. See a team down 1, like the Oilers went down 1. You got a nice price, minus 130 on that. Hit that one. It backfired on me. I took the Avalanche plus 150. Down 3-2.
We got Shooter McGavin in the chat here. Wow, that's some good value on Florida. He's liking it. Thanks for coming out. Shooter. Look at that. Look at that picture. I love that.
I feel like this Carolina, no matter who they play, will probably be pretty even. right? Devils Rangers. I think that's pretty even. They were even to start, and I feel like Carolina, the way they've lost some bodies.
I just
that
feel like they
series-
play so tight though. Like I think it's going to be tight games no matter what. It'll be
lot of
low
unders.
scoring again. It'll be a Johnny Lazarus series again with the
Yeah.
unders in the first period, like really tight checking. I think even though there's more offense, I think obviously with the Devils or the Rangers, which will be hard for them, a load for them to kind of try to shut down, but that's their game. That's the way they play. It'll be interesting once we get things kicked off. There's no time. We got some games that get going tomorrow. So
Yep.
no rest for the wicked. Game Notes Daily is here for you all the time. Anything else happen over the weekend we got to touch on, or we'll just
I got
wrap
one
her up?
more. I did we did the auction. You could come on our Game Notes podcast. That will probably happen the next couple weeks up at the Cap Cup in Albany. Mark Zacconi won the winning bid. He's from, I think, South Carolina, it said. So we're excited to have him on for our beer league segment.
Yeah,
And
Game
that's gonna
Notes
be a lot
proper
of fun.
podcast. Then that's next week.
My team, the team I coached the last few years, we lost in the finals last year. They lost in the finals again, 3-1, empty netter, puck line Jesus from the other end. So they lost again. I told them I'll be back next year, though. I'm going to coach next year. We're going to get that championship for them. And then yesterday there was USA under 18, all these future prospects. They were down 2-0, I think, in the third period. Came back, won 3-2 in OT versus Sweden.
There you go, buddy.
That was a cool game. That Cole Iserman, you've heard of this guy?
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
He's supposed
Stud.
to be
He's supposed to be a
he's
stud,
supposed to-
yeah.
so
No,
get
it's
his
not
name
like
out there.
Iserman, like Steve Iserman. It's like EISS.
Yeah.
It's like spelt differently, but supposed to be a stud. Yeah. So keep an eye out or ear out for that name popping up again in your future in hockey and following hockey. Total stud. My Blazers finished in third place. They won the bronze medal at Nationals over the past week in Saint-Hyacinthe, Quebec. The Blizzard took home the championship team from Quebec. Congratulations as those seasons all wrap up. And one game 7 tonight. We're on to the second round, boys.
And we'll cover when we on the podcast. I got all the champions of all the European leagues, and we'll cover some of the champions of the other leagues. We'll give them all a shout out. And is your WHL team still going that you jumped on the bandwagon?
Yep, they're playing against a Winnipeg in the conference finals. We've got a bunch of conference finals starting across the entire CHL, which we'll do on Game Notes proper as well, as they're starting to head down on the road to Kamloops for the Memorial Cup. We'll have all that stuff covered. I saw the Penguins lost one of their players that went to your team in Timrah.
Pittsburgh Penguin?
Yeah,
Nice.
he was playing in Wilkes-Barre. He just
Oh, yeah.
signed a
all right.
deal. Tallender, I believe his name is, or something. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen
Signed
that.
with Timrah.
I've been, you wouldn't believe it. Yesterday I built an entire IKEA outdoor patio furniture set.
Oh my God, your fingers must be killing.
Oh my God, the amount of cardboard and just doing that. And then to top it off today, I went out and bought a new grill. So we've been battling all day putting the grill together. So I'm not up to date on my SHL transactions.
That was Philip Hollander.
Hollander.
Oh.
Hollander,
I remember him.
Philip Hollander.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
he was up and down a little bit. Thanks, G, for that. I forgot about his name. I know he hadn't been. He's a guy that they would call up here and there. He'd get a couple games. He had nothing really this year, so I imagine he's probably had enough and is like, I'm going to Timrah. So you'll be jock sniffing him when you're in the row.
One of my neighbors is a guy in the team, Hartman, so I'll get the insights, even more inside scoops from Timrah. But again, talking about Moto, they're only 2 hours away, so it's great they're back in the league. It's the biggest derby, so those 4 or 5 games are going to be nuts.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'll get on the road maybe even for one of them, do some live videos.
Merles, you should send a picture of what you put together for our listeners, our viewers.
I
want to see what you did. I want to see the operation you did.
My wife did most of it. I gotta be honest.
Dimitri Vulgaris, Philip Hollander, thank you. Yeah, just slipped my mind. Thank you for chiming in.
Here we go. Merles, you got to get a nap before putt drop. Yeah, that's my plan. So this is my plan. Normally I just stay up and grind, but the kid is sick, so she can't go to school tomorrow. So I'm with her all day tomorrow. So my plan is right now it's 7 p.m. I'm going to try to sleep from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Rangers, Devils game.
Yep.
And then right after that, jumping on with Biz and Wit and RA and do our previews for that. And that will probably end at 6, 7 a.m. And
yeah, you're grinding, Merles. That a boy. When am I back on TNT? It was awesome last little bit here. Full week up there, a few nights, and then I went back. I'm having a blast with those guys. So I haven't heard when I'll be back, if and when. as the series start to dwindle down and they have more bodies, handle that stuff. I'm not sure, but come on, TNT, bring me back.
Get Army in there. I like having Hank in there too. It's fun to hear a goalie perspective sometimes. He's pretty, because we don't know anything about goaltending.
Yeah, and if you get sick of looking at me, you
going at each other.
I love getting after Busy, especially during those Leaf games. That was so fun. But anyways, everybody, we covered it already. I see in the chat, Sutter fired. We know we got it off the start. You got to tune in. It's 12 o'clock live every day on Game Notes Daily. We'll be here tomorrow again, guys. Enjoy Game 7. Thank you, ScoreBet. Please be responsible. Download the ScoreBet 19 plus in Ontario only. And make sure you check the Game Notes Daily. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the Game 7.
Let's go Rangers.